Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in again to our fourth episode of Purchasing an RV. We have some exciting news. It's been a crazy week or so, and actually just yesterday, late, about 18 hours ago, we purchased an RV. And we don't want to be one of those channels that keeps these secrets and tries to drag it out. But this literally just happened so recently, and we're not really prepared to do a video on it. And I want to do it the right way.
We want to do a proper presentation
and do it good. So we're not going to talk much about that, but we got really lucky in the purchasing process, and we're actually going to have an RV this summer by ordering one brand new, which is almost unheard of in times like this.
Yes, we definitely got lucky.
So what this video is going to be about is the buying process and going through some of the trials and tribulations, headaches, mostly of the buying process in 2021. It is not a fun time to buy an RV right now. We all kind of know what the market is like, but we're going to talk about some of our experiences, and maybe that will help some people. A lot of people sent some good stuff to us and are helping us through this entire process. And then also, since it is May and we're in sunny, beautiful Florida and we can't stay here forever, we need to eventually get back on the road. We're going to talk about what we're going to do in between here in Florida and on our way back home to Minnesota, where we're going to spend a month or so. But we plan on doing some fun trips in the East Coast here on our way back home.
Let's start out by talking first about how we're going to be spending the next 3 months. How are we going to bridge that gap? And it's pretty exciting, guys. I don't know if I'm excited, terrified, everything, all of the above. Like, this has just been an emotional roller coaster since the sale of the van through now, and it will continue. But the big reveal is we made a purchase for a rooftop tent.
Of what? I know we talked about an in-betweener rig, possibly getting a camper or a truck camper or a small RV, something inexpensive. Well, I have this crazy idea and need to get out in the middle of nowhere, and I thought, what better than a rooftop tent on the back of our truck?
But before anybody starts panicking, like me, let's pump the brakes and break down this timeline, because it's not a full 3 months of roughing it in a tent. That is not what we're doing. But what we are doing is we have a few more weeks here in Florida where we are collecting items that we need in order to build this truck tent. And then we will be making our way over to the East Coast. Well, we're already on the East Coast, but we're going to stay on the East Coast. We're thinking of a little visit up to Savannah, up to Charleston, and then over to the Smoky Mountains on our way to Minnesota.
It'll be the fast-paced, light travel that we used to do in the van, except we're going to be in a tent, and it's going to be kind of weird, and like in my mind, it's going to be great and beautiful and all Instagrammy and lovely. But I don't know how it's going to turn out.
Yeah, obviously, we're not going to have the comforts of an RV. So how are we going to make it through that? We'll end up sharing that with you.
Yeah.
Like in terms of just basic things like food, showers, toilets. That's all stuff that we're going to be like jumping in cannonball style.
Yeah.
But, we have a few more weeks here. As soon as our truck is ready to hit the road, we're going to hit the road. We're not going to stretch out the condo stay because, one, our time is limited. There is an end date that we need to get out of here by.
Yeah.
But two, we don't want to stay here in the condo. Like, our hearts are calling, the road is calling. We want to get back out there.
Yeah.
And we're just trying to piece this all together as quickly as possible.
And speaking of that, like, it's going to take some time to put these components together. Like, we could have done it even easier, just got like a ground tent, but there's a big difference. I don't even know if I could have talked her into that. Like, this rooftop tent idea was a little bit easier to started with a fifth wheel and a big grand kitchen.
Yeah,
and turned into a rooftop
that
tent.
Fifth wheel that Aaron dangled? The fifth wheel with my Yamaha, giant kitchen. Like, somehow now I'm going tent camping.
The tent themselves are really expensive. I found a great deal on a CVT, which is a good known brand out of Bend, Oregon. We happened to find one like locally used, a 1-year-old one for half price. So I was stoked about that. And so we're just piecing it together kind of on a budget. Instead of going out and buying an RV for 10 or 20 grand or something like that, having to title it, pay taxes, and then worry about selling it in 3 months, probably would be an easy process to do, but at the same time, it sounds like a headache. So we actually plan on keeping this rooftop tent. And
that's the big bonus for us is it's not only serving as an interim to fill our gap, it's going to be part of our long-term setup. Mm-hmm. So when we're towing our trailer, we're still going to have this rooftop tent on our truck. And when we're out camping somewhere, we'll drop the trailer, we'll take the truck out for an additional few days, like with the tent, and we'll explore deeper. And then we'll be able to come back to the comforts of our RV. And so in our mind, it's the perfect blend of adventure and getting out there a little bit deeper, but not giving up those comforts that we love as an RV couple.
And a few of you mentioned like a 4-wheel camper, which is basically like a truck camper that squishes down, like what the Russos have, if you've seen that. So it's lighter, it's smaller, and you can still have it on your truck and tow a trailer. But pricing those things out, they're like $30,000. And they are on a big wait list, I believe. Like everybody's just having, production issues and things like that. So that's a cool idea. I mean, if we really love this rooftop tent thing and we really utilize it by going out like a night here or a night there and just getting out like deeper and having more fun with it like that, then I could see us investing in a 4-wheel camper, especially if like a used one comes up. And then it would be even more of like we'd have a second office, we'd have, whatever. That's way down the road. But some of you guys mentioned that, so I thought that was really cool. And so this is like the big idea we're going with.
So as soon as that tent is set up, as soon as we get our racks on our truck, everything we need in order to live in a tent, then we're going to hit the road. We're going to make our way towards Minnesota. If any of you have any suggestions on places we should check out along that route that I just said, let us know. And then we'll spend about 4 weeks combined in Wisconsin and Minnesota. We have already scheduled visits with friends, with family. We have our annual doctor appointments, dentists, record keeping, update our driver's license, all that stuff that you need to do. So we're going to do all that within that 4 weeks that we'll be home. And then we're going to head west from there. And we're going to continue on with our tenting journey.
Yeah, so make sure you stay tuned for that because it's either going to be a train wreck or it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be fun. I don't know.
Somewhere in between, probably.
We're really excited about this process, and I think it makes sense to do right now. All these puzzle pieces are finally coming together between the truck and a trailer and this, in between this 3-month period. And it's fun and it's relaxing a little bit because, man, it can get really stressful when you don't have somewhere to go,
I would say just until last night, the stress was mounting. Mm-hmm. The anxiety was mounting.
Well, when you start to think about living in a tent, you're like, well, okay, what do we do for the bathroom? What do we do for the shower? What do we do for water? And a big curveball for us is we have all of our stuff in the van. So we need to transport all of our contents that we had in our van until we get the trailer. So we need to have everything combined, and it's going to be kind of a mess, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to have a lot of travel style videos with this truck and rooftop tent. We're going to, like she said, try to go to the East Coast a little bit north of here and have some fun with that. And then we still have our truck tour and then this rooftop tent tour. And there's going to be a lot of fun videos coming up, and I'm excited to start moving along and having some more fun.
Yes, I can't wait to. I'm half terrified and half ecstatically excited. So let's talk about the process that you went through, Aaron, when you were shopping for RVs and what that was like for you specifically.
Okay, back when I was shopping for the van in 2017, 2018, I had a good 18 months of time to sit and leisurely research and look and watch the market, watch the trends, watch pricing and all that. And I loved it. I liked to look at that stuff. I liked looking at RV Trader a lot. Just like when I was 16, I loved looking at Auto Trader and looking at cars and things like that. I just enjoy that type of thing as my leisurely thing to do. And this process, this next time, was completely different. I am just not excited right now. It started with the truck, which I thought, I'd be able to shop all these dealers from Texas to Florida, get a good deal. Well, it turned out truck pricing, there's not really any deals going on right now. There's a huge truck shortage, especially in the Ford Super Duty series. And so that was a huge headache. So I was kind of already on a bit of a downturn looking into this RV process. I was already getting a little stressed out before it even really happened.
Well, it's a totally different situation because now we're under duress for time. We're homeless, essentially. You don't have the comforts of our apartment lease to milk it out for 18 months.
Yeah. So we got a chance to go to some local dealers in Fort Myers. First stop, Camping World, which we've never ever been to a Camping World before. Never thought we ever would be at one.
Yeah, never.
But here we are.
I think one time in our very early days, we were desperate to dump our tanks, and we were like, I wonder if they have a dump at Camping World.
Did they?
We didn't even pursue that. That's how little interest we have in actually going to Camping World.
Yeah, we've heard some horror stories about Camping World. I'm sure some of them are fine, but they seem to be one of the larger kind of corporate RV dealers. But then again, it could be just fine. We've never been to one before.
Yeah, so what we've heard is that they sell you and then they leave you high and dry. They take your money and then they say, no customer service for you.
And we just spent the day basically going to a handful of dealers, and it was not fun. It was a painful process. One, it's Florida and it's 90 degrees and humid. You want to go in there? It's a 30-foot fifth wheel, Arctic Wolf.
Oh, it's hot in here.
Ooh, it is steamy in here. Ugh.
It's getting hot in here.
Fans working. This is interesting. So this is what a 30-foot fifth wheel feels like. So it's on the smaller side, but not the smallest side. And I don't know. What do you think?
It's pretty.
We've never really been in a smaller fifth wheel. I think the ones we've been in are all about 40 feet.
Lots of space.
And so as you're looking in these RVs with no air conditioning,
they're about 110 inside.
Yep. So you're just dripping in sweat, like it's sun shining and blaring, and so that right there's mounting a little bit of pressure as we're doing that type of stuff, which I normally like that too.
Which, get used to that because we're gonna be in a tent soon.
Exactly. And so what we saw on the lots was not a lot. I mean, the first time we ever went to a Camping World, we got to see rows and rows of these mass-produced trailers that I don't even recognize the names of them. You can tell they're not built very well. They're a low price tag. They're not something that we want to live in full time. We want something built a little bit better. And so then, used stuff that's on the lots, there's just not a lot of that stuff around. Found a little Nobo here at Camping World. This is the NB 16.7. We have someone who said they were in a 16.9, I think Carol, and she really likes hers.
It's nice in here.
So for a small trailer, this is interesting.
It is interesting. Has a crawl over bed, which I don't like.
And what I'm hearing is that there's a big influx of new RVers. So instead of people trading in a camper for a new camper, they're coming in and just buying straight out. So there's not a lot of used inventory, and people are just kind of buying everything that's out there. So that's kind of frustrating to look at. We did see a bunch of Class Bs at La Mesa.
Are you feeling lucky?
If we're shopping for a Class B, yes. I think that's what's here. They got a lot of Class Bs. That's cool.
Yeah.
There's a handful of those. There's a handful of, Class Cs and motorhomes. But on the trailer side, there was just not a lot to look at. So that was just a frustrating process. And so one of the biggest tips we like to give for people that are shopping is to go to RV shows where you can see numerous brands, layouts. You get to sit in them. They're open. They're, ready to be looked at. And that's a good process to do. And we did that.
And we thought that
when we were
we almost thought we would be hitting up the Tampa RV show that's coming up June 10th.
That would still be fun to look at if we're in the area, just to like see more of these new models. But really looking in person is tough. If you're not by a dealer or a handful of dealers, I mean, you need to spend basically every weekend going in different directions, just trying to hopefully see some things that you like. So that moves on to online shopping, which is really, I think, the preferred way to do it now, and shopping over the phone.
However, you did find people took us more seriously when we were physically walking in.
Yeah, even with buying the truck and RV shopping, when you're on the phone, I don't think they take you as seriously, like she said, as if you're right there in person. Although, like,
they should.
Yeah, why would you not? Because there's people that are buying things online. The process now is completely different. I mean, texts, emails, phone calls, I had dealers calling me, texting me, like all different types of stuff. And I like that. I like that type of communication. It's easy to multitask and do that. So the biggest tip I guess I can give for this is to narrow down your focus as much as you can, because when you're too broad, it's too much to look at. There's too many directions. And so that's what we did with our last video, where we talked about the handful of things that we're really serious about buying. And what we did buy is from that video. So that's, something that we narrowed it down so that I could, and I even narrowed it down more so that I could really, really focus and search and try to find either, a used deal that's going to pop up or new ones that are available. One thing about buying used now is that if you're shopping the entire country, you don't know exactly what condition it's going to be in. Buying new is a little bit easier because once you know the make, the model, and all that, shopping dealers all around the country, it's all going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
Relatively, it's a new unit.
It's definitely safe when it's new. You don't have things that are, buying used, it's unlimited amount of things that could be wrong with it. Yeah,
and I'll say this is really weird because we don't like buying new. I never wanted to ever do that. I was always the person to buy 1 to 3 years old.
Always.
Yeah, and I like that. That's just,
smart.
Yep, it's a good way to save that depreciation. You can kind of shop it. You can find the right one that looks in good condition. You can tell by the interior and the exterior how things are cared for. Maintenance records is a big thing to pay attention to, and that's easy to get. But now with this market, I just feel safer buying new, and with used prices creeping up to, new prices.
Nearly the same cost.
Yeah, especially in the truck market. I mean, that was just for us a no-brainer to get a new one. So we'll talk about pricing for a quick second. MSRP, manufacturer suggested retail pricing, is what everybody kind of starts at. And then, in the markets of old days, some RVs were 35% off MSRP. Certain manufacturers like Airstream was always a little bit tighter. Maybe you could get, 10 or 15% off, probably not even 20% off. But in today's market, a lot of things are going straight to MSRP or more. And that's just where, it makes that buying process even harder, because if you can find something that you really want, well, then you also need to find a dealer that's, willing to make a good deal with you as well. So we got really, really lucky with what we found. And I will say there is still deals to be had out there, and pretty stoked about that. So we'll go more into the details on that in our next video when we talk about the actual rig. And this video is just kind of a quick update. We want to keep everything updated and try to keep this pretty close to real time, because everybody is sending us well wishes and comments and suggestions. And we even have people now sending us used Craigslist ads and dealer specials, which is just phenomenal. I mean, it's great. People are like, here, check this one out.
Yeah,
check out this deal.
That's so cool.
And how I even found the deal that I found is from an insider off of one of our viewers. So you know who you are. Thank you very much. I appreciate that information, and it just helps in the process. So that's great to help just, have the community like help in a direction and, try to figure this thing out, because we don't have the luxury of waiting 14 months for a rig. And a lot of people, like 6 months is not even a bad of an eye. Like that's a normal wait time is 6 months, up to well over a year. It's absolutely crazy. So for us to come in and get something in 3 months is going to be a Christmas miracle.
Hopefully it happens.
We'll see what happens. So we have lots of fun upcoming videos coming out, and we're going to keep these things coming. Our airboat and alligator ride. I did that video, but I wanted to get this video out first, so I'm going to put that out in a couple days.
Otter. Oh, hi. Otter. Hi. What, do you have Fruit Loops in there? Hi. Otter.
That one is so trippy looking.
Hi. Hi.
Otter. You're having an intelligent conversation with the bird. What else? Anything else?
No, we're excited to show you. We're really excited to show you our truck and the truck tent. The truck, they'll be easy because the truck is here. The tent, we have the tent, but we still are ordering the racks and stuff, so it might be a little bit of a delay until you can see that, because we have to physically put it together.
Yeah, all those pieces are coming in the next couple weeks, and it's all going to be ready to go, and we're going to be back on the road
in no time,
traveling in a tent.
We're going to be back hip to hip.
So thanks again, everybody, for watching this quick update. Now you know what direction we're going to. We're going to be living in a tent like two crazy people, and then we got our new trailer coming out shortly. So thanks again for watching. Stick around for the next video, and we'll see you next time.
We've been sliding since I don't remember when.